Job and his many alleged blasphemies. The story of Job in the Bible is one of a prophet being severely tested. The story begins with God highly praising Job for his righteousness. God says to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." Satan proceeds to challenge God, stating that the only reason Job is upright is because Job has a good life. Satan predicts that if God were to test Job properly, then Job would curse God. But now stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face. God allows Satan to test Job, and once the trials commence, Job fails to remain patient, and even goes so far as to blaspheme against God numerous times. "Then know that God has wronged me and drawn his net around me. I am innocent, but God denies me justice. It profits a man nothing when he tries to please God." Now, the way the story unfolds is highly problematic. There is the issue of a prophet of God committing blasphemy, one of the worst sins imaginable. Also, the Bible is alluding to Satan knowing more than God in this instance by correctly predicting what would happen. Recall that God asserted that Job was a man who fears God and shuns evil. Satan challenged God by predicting that Job would blaspheme, and so Satan has proven God wrong. Can Satan, a limited and finite being, have more insight into Job than God, the creator and sustainer of the universe? The Quran resolves all these issues in just a few short verses. Job doesn't blaspheme against God. Rather, he blames Satan for his hardship. "Bring to mind our servant Job, who cried to his Lord, 'Satan has afflicted me with weariness and suffering.'" God compliments Job for his patience in the face of such trials. "We found him patient in adversity, an excellent servant. He too always turned to God." Job's righteous conduct in the Quran is exactly what we would expect of a prophet of God. Analysis of the stories of the prophets. Both the Bible and the Quran define the concept of prophethood in highly noble terms. After examining the stories of the prophets, we've seen that it's only the Quran that portrays the prophets in such a way that satisfies this ideal. By contrast, the Bible shows the prophets in an extremely negative light. It seems that no sin is too great for them to commit, yet the Bible states, "All scripture is inspired by God and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness." What morals can be derived from stories that are filled with prophets committing idolatry, murder, adultery, and blasphemy? Another issue with the Bible is that God states that his commandments are easy to follow. Now, what I'm commanding you today is not too difficult for you or beyond your reach. This message of encouragement was proclaimed to the whole of Israel, prophet and commoner alike. But how can the Israelites have been expected to keep the commandments when the prophets, those who were divinely handpicked and tasked with upholding and teaching the commandments, failed to keep even the most basic of God's laws? Does this not make a mockery of God? One of the names of the Quran is Al-Furqan, meaning the criterion between truth and falsehood. So the Quran not only confirms the scriptures that came before it, but it also corrects their distortions. "We sent to you, Muhammad, the scripture with the truth, confirming the scriptures that came before it, and with final authority over them, so judge between them according to what God has sent down." The Quran defends God's righteous prophets against the slander and falsehood attributed to them in the Bible. It provides the best guidance for those who want good examples to follow in order to come closer to God and be successful in the hereafter. There is a lesson in the stories of such people for those who understand. This video is based on the book Jesus, Man, Messenger, Messiah. To learn more about the prophets in Christianity and Islam, please download your free copy of the book at the link below.